The high jump is one of the 4 jumping events in track and field, along with the long jump, the triple jump, and the pole vault. The goal is to pass a horizontal bar as a laugh from a vertical jump after an acceleration race. The high jump belongs to the group of vertical jumps along with the pole vault. Before continuing, I invite you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so by clicking the red button below. Stay until the end because we are going to analyze in detail everything about the high jump technique and much more. The high jump has been part of the athletic program at the modern Olympic Games since its first edition held in Athens in 1896. The women's category of the event debuted at the Games held in Amsterdam in 1928. We can see here the first female gold medal winner, the Canadian Ethel Catherwood, jumping in scissor style at the 1928 Amsterdam Olympics. The acceleration track is a fan-shaped area that is located in front of the jumping obstacle. The bar or slat is a wooden stick or flat-ended metal bar for attachment to the supports. It has a maximum weight of 2 kilograms. It can fall forward or backward. The supports or jump couches are the rigid metal posts 4 meters apart. They have a mechanism to raise the bar. These indicate the height of the slat. The landing mat or fall bed is a soft foam rubber surface 396 cm long and 487 cm wide. Jump measurements are taken between the bottom of the top edge of the bar and the round. During the course of the test, a judge announces the height of the bar. After each round, the bar will rise to 3, 4, 5 and sometimes 6 cm higher depending on the regulations of the competition being played. Competitors choose to jump the designated height or pass their turn and attempt to jump a higher height later. Competitors decide the height and direction of their career before the jump. They must take off with one foot but can jump with their chest facing the bar or with their back above it. In major competitions, the athlete has a 90-second time limit to perform his jump. After a failed first jump, competitors may choose not to attempt a second or third jump to height, or they may choose to attempt to jump higher. 3 consecutive resignations at the same or at different heights eliminate the competitor. Rounds continue until only one competitor remains and the others are eliminated. That competitor is the winner and may attempt to jump a higher height. If there is a tie, the jumper with the fewest attempts at the winning height wins. If there is still a tie, the jumper with the fewest waivers wins. The jump is considered null if any of the following circumstances occurs: if the bar falls, if the bar is crossed below, if any area beyond the post is touched before passing over the bar, and if it's exceeded the 90-second time limit to perform the jump. High jumpers use different jumping techniques for many years, such as the scissor or straddle styles. They were all facing the left. In 1968, at the Mexico Olympics, Dick Fosbury surprised viewers with a new technique. He jumped on his back and came higher than anyone. Fosbury had actually used that form of jumping for several years. Now all athletes participating in high jump use the Fosbury style. In the high jump, we highlight 2 important techniques: the Fosbury style and the straddle style. It's difficult to find currently a professional athlete who does not develop the Fosbury style. Therefore, we'll explain it in greater depth. The straddle style is not usually used in competition, but is pedagogically interesting because it's simpler. It consists of 4 phases. The running phase is performed in an oblique direction to the left between 7 and 9 strides. In the last 3 strides, the body's center of gravity is delayed by a slight flexion of the legs to be able to launch the jumping leg. The jumping or takeoff phase is carried out in a violent and explosive way towards the bar. Simultaneously, the arms perform an ascending action so that the body is placed in the air parallel to the bar. In the flight phase, the body passes over the lat, saving it later by means of an enveloping movement. And finally, the landing phase is carried out by falling on the shoulder farthest from the bar at the time of the takeoff and finishing rolling on the mat. Now let's take a closer look at the Fosbury flop style, which is undoubtedly the main one. As in any other jump style, a running phase, a takeoff phase, a flat phase, and a landing phase are distinguished. During the acceleration, as a general rule, the race will have a length of 16 to 20 meters that will be covered by making 8 to 12 strides at a speed that will range between 7 and 8.5 meters per second. In this phase, all the requirements of the race are respected, such as the metatarsal supports, the total extension of the impulse leg, or the elevation of the knee of the free leg. We can see two well-defined parts, the straight race and the racing curve. In the straight race, also called a wide radius curve, they usually take 5 to 7 strides. Next, the shorter radius curve race begins, also called simply the curve race, taking 3 to 5 strides in this part. As a consequence of the curve race, the athlete is subjected to the action of centrifugal force, and to counteract this action, he must incline his body towards the inside of the curve. If an athlete chooses the left as the jumping leg, he must jump through the sector to the right of the bar. On the other hand, if the jumping leg is the right, it will be necessary to carry out the race for the jump through the sector to the left of the bar. In the jumping or takeoff phase, the jumping leg, which has come stretched out without stiffness, flexes to fully extend and generate power. Immediately before contact with the track is lost, the jumper makes a turn of the jumping foot, bringing the heel towards the fall mat. With this twist, the athlete's subsequent positioning is facilitated during the flight. The free leg is brought with the knee flexed in the forward and upward direction in a quick gesture, and the lead reaches the height of the race. The trunk is directed upwards, being on the vertical of the jumping foot at the moment the leg is fully extended. The arms, which were back in the last step, are now flexed at the elbow and up in coordinated action with the shoulders and the free leg. In the flight phase, the athlete adopts a relaxed attitude on his upward flight path while turning to turn his back on the bar. It's producing and increasing a dorsal and lumbar extension that will allow it to adopt the bridge position, consisting of a hip lift and shoulder descent. Continuing with the hip lift, the jumper avoids not knocking the bar down with the buttocks. Once the hips have passed, the athlete immediately extend their legs so they don't touch the back. The arms relax during the flight and remain at the sides of the trunk, balancing and preparing the fall. And in the last phase, the fall will be done on the back and taking care that the knees don't hit the face. It should be noted that, as in the other modalities of jumping, track and field, the order of importance of the phases is as follows. Firstly, the takeoff phase. Secondly, the running phase. Thirdly, the flat phase. And finally, the landing phase. In this image, we can see the ingenious Dick Fosbury, who revolutionized high jump at the Olympic Games in Mexico in 1968 with his particular jumping style. In this table, we can see a summary of the differences between the main styles of high jump. As for the jumping leg, the scissor and Fosbury flop styles use the farthest from the left, while the leg closest to it is used on the straddle style. In the scissor style, the free leg is the first to cross the bar. On the straddle style, One hemi-body begins first and then the other, and in the Fosbury style, the head is the first to exceed the bar. And as for the race face, in the scissor and straddle styles, it's rectilinear, while in the Fosbury flop style, two faces are distinguished. First a straight race, and then a curved race. In the high jump, it's an advantage to have a high height. Most of these jumpers are tall. High competition jumpers measure between 1.90 and 2 meters. With the straddle technique, it was already an advantage, but with the Fosbury style, the more the jumper measures, the better his results. The high jump is the most explosive test of all jumps because the bounce is produced on the round itself to climb as high as possible. The muscle fibers of the jumpers are in an enormous proportion, explosive and very fast, totally anaerobic in their functionality from the energy point of view. The jumper must be born with these fibers, but they can also be developed based on weights, multi-jumps, and many flexibility and technique exercises. All jumpers have great drive capacity. Both in high jump and pole vault, long jump and triple jump, there is an elevation above the round. Inside the elevation, there's also some extension jump. To carry out this jump, it's essential to have a good drive capacity, or what in slang is called a bounce. Without a bounce, you cannot jump, and it's achieved thanks to the explosive and fast fibers to which we have referred. Jumpers have to be skillful and flexible people with a number of innate qualities such as the ability to mechanize, assimilate, or file muscle movements. In the four specialties, the jumpers make the feel in their minds of how they're going to perform the jump before doing it. They have their race perfectly marked. They know the exact steps they take from the place where they started, which they previously marked on the track, and they also know the place from where they must take off. If they are wrong, even half a foot down or up, it can be fatal to the end result. Then, once they are lifted, the jumpers have to mechanize a series of movements in the air according to the characteristic style of each one. This mechanization is tested in training, repeating thousands and thousands of times until they can do it practically without thinking. Athletes obviously have to be very fast. There's not a single jumper of any of the four specialties who is not a great sprinter. Even quicker to put into action than a sprinter of a certain quality, with the difference that it wouldn't hold a 100-meter race. In 20, 30 and 40 meters they have to be very fast. Another quality of jumpers is their great ability to concentrate. Some ask viewers to clap, but it's because this type of support helps them focus. As all athletic jumps are characterized by being explosive tests, the nutrition of the jumpers is very similar to that carried out by the specialties in speed or harder trials. Jumpers primarily bark like cogent by making use of explosive or fast fibers that only spend on this high-quality fuel. Jumpers have a particular difficult time burning fat, and as they generally have to be tall and slim, gaining too much weight would be a huge handicap in competition. The quality of the feed is the same for all jumpers. Their diet must be varied and balanced. The amount of calories they must eat is a function of the amount of work they do daily and also of the body volume that must be nourished. Since they do numerous strength training, they must assimilate more calories in the form of protein than any other athlete in a non-explosive specialty, about 2 or 3% more. As far as vitamins are concerned, they take the same as any other athlete. Some outstanding exercises for the preparation of this test are the following: speed and power circuits, agility and flexibility exercises, speed series from 60 to 80 meters, multi-jumps and full jumps with increased number of steps, medium load weights on 50% of the 1 rep max executed quickly, and a technical job for the heel and takeoff point. Competitors wear spikes with a half-inch sole. In this table we can see the most notable high jump records. World records were held by Javier Sotomayor of Cuba in Salamanca in 1993, making 2.45 meters, and Stefka Kostadinova of Bulgaria in Rome in 1987, achieving 2.09 meters. The Olympic records are held by the American Charles Austin in Atlanta 96 with 2.39 meters and the Russian Yelena Slesarenko in Athens 2004 with 2.06 meters. At the indoor level, the Cuban Javier Sotomayor repeats in Budapest in 1989 doing 2.43 meters and the Swedish Kaxa Bergqvist in Arnstadt in 2006 achieving 2.08 meters. If you want to see the rest of the records at the continental level in more detail, pause this video. We've finished with this content. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and push the bell to receive notices of new videos. See you next time!